Blackburn.
Enterprises.
All right, so last time we talked, we were talking about we were about to get into another part of yoga that you do, and that's called naked yoga. So you want to explain naked yoga or naked soul yoga?
Butt ass naked soul yoga. No. The concept of naked soul yoga came in from on the side of body positivity and just being comfortable in your flesh, literally.
Right.
And not hiding behind labels and pretty shit. Just sitting with yourself and who you are without all the extra.
Right. Stuff. And I think the thing is a lot of times people have trouble understanding this. It seems like you constantly have to reaffirm and constantly let people know the point of it all. And I think a lot of my species, which to take up for us a little, we can't help sometimes but to sexualize naked bodies. But I know based on just different conversations that I've seen you have on social media and just different videos that you talked about, just about not doing that, about to stop the sexualizing of bodies, and just because you're naked doesn't mean that that's where you need to go. So can you get into that?
It's never an invitation until it is. Unless I say, hey, I want something from you, that's not what I'm saying. Right? How narcissistic do you have to be to see a post? Right? She wants me. Let me drop her. No, it's not okay. And it's I can't even just say it's just men, because you have prudish women who are like, oh, you're a slut. How? How? The only proof that you've ever had sex is that I have 2 kids. So you know that I've had sex twice.
Yeah.
That's it. So you see a naked picture and you're like, oh, you're thought. How? Explain that. And I think people just need to get out of the idea that sex and nudity have a direct correlation, because when you're born, you're naked, you're not nobody.
Right.
So why does it mean I'm grown and I just want to be free in my own body? I have to be.
Yeah. So I guess being naked and nudity and sex, all that, they're mutually exclusive. So they don't necessarily have to do with each other. But I think society has, for the longest, even though it's 2020 yet and still, and we're supposed to be we're supposed to learn this technology. Everything has advanced so far or whatever, but that's one of those areas where we're still kind of struggling.
They have this idea men can have babies, but then a woman can't be naked without it being sexual. And then if you see the poses, there's nothing sexual at all about those poses. I'm standing on one damn hand or on my head. How is that sexual?
Right.
And you don't see anything on those pictures.
Right.
You might see my side.
Right. This is true, but I guess the mere appearance of nakedness, and unfortunately, I guess however you want to look at it, that's all it takes for something. And I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, but just so we could have a viewpoint from all viewpoints. I guess for men, unfortunately, all we got to do is see a sliver of skin, and it's like, oh, okay, we're ready. What's good? What's about to happen?
But even then, babies get.
This is true.
Women can be fully dressed.
This is true.
Jobs, head to toe, even almost their eyes are covered up, and they still.
This is true.
You don't have to see a sliver of skin. You just have to not have control of yourself.
Right.
And I don't think it has anything to do with a man or man versus female. I think it's all about impulse control. Right? And that's all it is. Because, again, going back to the idea of, all of these people in the world, she made this post exactly for me.
Right.
That's crazy.
That is.
That's crazy.
Is.
And that the most recent Naked Soul or Naked Truth Tuesday post was basically that. I have a friend in New York who's a nurse.
Okay.
And she was on the subway, and some guy behind her. She said he did it twice, and it was basically rubbing his bare across her back, and she turned around to see that it was his. I was what the. Right. And so that goes to show no, she was in her her work scrubs,
right,
fully dressed, out in public. And he decided, I'm just going to rub my across her back.
Right.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's
Because if it was about nudity, then it would only happen when things like that would only happen
when somebody was naked, or appeared to be naked.
Yeah,
or
it
whatever.
wouldn't happen any other time outside of that. It's really just people not having self-control.
Right.
And that's all it is.
So at the end of the day, people need to learn how to control themselves and just wait for an invitation. I guess is your major thing.
Consent is sexy.
Consent is sexy. That's a big topic.
That's a t-shirt.
I don't know if you should say that now. You got to keep that secret. So
consent is sexy. Like that needs to be known.
Well, yeah, it does need to be known. I'm saying you can make all the money though. You make the shirts.
Listen, I said it.
Anyway, so when practicing naked yoga, is it a different vibe? I'm assuming when you
like it's all about yourself. And even like the nude yoga classes that I've had, it's like people in general are worried about like, oh, like somebody's gonna say I'm not doing this pose right or this, that, and the other. You do a naked class, like it's different. Like somebody's gonna see my butt crack. But then like everybody else is thinking the same thing, so they literally don't take their eyes off their mat. Like, and I love it. Like, get your practice. Like, do exactly what I tell you to do, and then you don't have to look up and see that somebody might be looking at you. But I can guarantee you, nobody's looking. Nobody's looking.
Right.
So it's definitely like you showing up for yourself and yourself only.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when it comes to nudity and when it comes to naked soul yoga, the main thing is, I feel like, it's just about you. You know what I'm saying? Doing what's best for you. You know, being comfortable with yourself. You know, body positivity and that movement. And I think some people still have trouble, you know, dealing with that. You know, whatever their preconceived notions are, like that. That's some conversations that I want to get into, because I think sometimes people look at things from their perspective, like big women, and they feel like they're the only ones that go through what they go through. And then small women, you know, they might look at it, but at the end of the day, I think everybody goes through that.
Just like I've talked about that a lot because I'm small, and like I hate when a big girl would be like, "You're so tiny," but then I can't be like, "Oh, you're so big." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be ready to fight if I said that. So I think people just have to sit with their own shit and like deal with you, and don't put that on somebody else.
Right.
Because it's not okay. Like, you definitely wouldn't want somebody to do it to you, so don't do it to other people.
Right. That's right.
Because I'm like, even going back to this whole idea about like people dropping in people's DMs. What if somebody did that to your mom?
It's funny you bring that up though. But I've been thinking, so it's good. You know what, that would be that. Well, it depends on who your mom is.
No, but even if your mom was like the type that liked it, you would still feel some type of way if somebody was like,
right, but like for real,
like, Dave, somebody's just like,
right.
Mom, like,
but this is the thing though, and it's funny you brought that up because I've been thinking about that, and that reminds me of a conversation that I wanted to have. Because, and again, I guess I might be playing devil's advocate again, but it's just more or less to have the conversation going. A lot of times I've talked to females and I've seen females post about how they don't like just getting unsolicited pics like that. But what I have noticed when it comes to celebrity men, those that are celebrities, and they talk about their DMs, they get unsolicited pics from women. So does it depend on, like, and that's what makes the whole consent conversation really interesting, because does it depend on who it is?
It depends. If he didn't ask for it, don't send it. Like, so my idea of it all, it is sexual harassment. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
There's no way to really do anything about it online unless you have like all of that person's information.
Right.
I mean, you can get it. Like, if you really want to get it, you can get it. But like, if people started taking the whole idea of it seriously, people will stop doing it. Right. Like, so like, I'm gonna just say Michael Jordan because like I can only imagine.
Yeah, what he's gotten.
Like what he gets in his DMs, or like somebody even more current, Chris Brown. I can only imagine. But just imagine what would happen if he like made an example out of one female and was like, "Yeah, I'm getting her locked up for sexual harassment." Right. You're right. Like, he would probably be picked on. All this other. But if people took it seriously, then people would stop. Right. And that's the issue. Like, people don't take it seriously. Like, a lot of people laugh about it. And then even the times that I've complained, there was this one guy who was in the Army who sent it, and one of my best friends is in the Army, so I sent it to her, and she found him. And she was going to have him suspended, and I told him, and like, everybody was like, "Oh, like, you shouldn't do him like that, you should just talk to him." No, I shouldn't. Talk to him for what? I didn't even know this man. I just opened my DM and it was just sitting in there.
Right.
Like, no. Like, you have to think about what you're doing and think about who or how you could get in trouble doing it.
Right.
And then also, like, for real, like, think about if somebody sent it to your mom or your dad.
This is true. This is true. Think about your mom or your dad next time you do anything.
Right, because I will send it to your mom.
Oh, no. Please.
I've done that.
Please don't.
I've done that. It was like a Muslim guy, and I sent it to I found him. That's why I said it's so easy to find these people on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found this whole family, and I sent it to all of them in the group chat, and it was like everybody. Like the dad was like, "I'll send you so much money. Like just don't show anybody else." Like, no, I don't want your money. I just want you to know this is what your son is doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So now y'all know. Next time you think about doing it, don't do it. All right. Okay, so what got you into that?
Just the difference between the mortality rate in black moms and babies than everybody else.